Hi Pisces, welcome to November. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. Before I start your reading, I'm going to call in some good energy. So this month, we start the month off right on the heels of the full moon in Taurus, which has happened on October 31st. And then Mercury goes direct after having been retrograde for the past 3 weeks, most of October. Mercury will go direct on November 3rd. And then on November 12th, we have Jupiter conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. And that's a major conjunction. This is the third time it's happening this year. It's going to be a powerful event. And we'll talk about that later. And then Mars, which has been retrograde also, will go direct now on the 12th, or the 13th, I'm sorry. And then right after Mars goes direct, then we have the new moon in Scorpio on the 14th or the 15th, depending on where you live. It'll either be the night of the 14th or the early morning hours of the 15th. So things that have been stagnating, things that have been, stuck in the mud, blocked, that's all coming loose now. Things are going to start to move forward, especially with Mercury and Mars moving forward. We're going to have more energy. We're going to be able to straighten out any miscommunications. Now you can start initiating projects. Things are going to be run a lot smoother now that Mercury's moving forward and Mars. So October was a difficult month. There were a lot of tense aspects during October with all the Capricorn energy and Mars squaring everything. Now we're moving into, there's like a light at the end of the tunnel, it seems. And I think November, we may feel a little less pressure, especially when Jupiter and Saturn move into Aquarius. Then that'll take all the pressure off, some of the Capricorn energy of restriction and hard work and discipline. All that heavy Capricorn energy will start to move. Will not be so strong. But let's see what the cards say for Pisces, for love and relationships. What does Pisces need to know for November 2020 in terms of love and relationships? What is coming up for Pisces? What is coming up for Pisces? In terms of love and relationships. What does Pisces need to know about love and relationships? For November 2020. The Six of Swords. The Eight of Cups. The Magician. The Temperance Card. The Three of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles. The Seven of Swords. The Seven of Cups. The Three of Cups. And the Death card. And the card underneath the deck is the Strength card. So you're moving on this month. And it's good. I think, let's just, let me talk about the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is about moving away from difficulty, moving toward greater harmony. And the Eight of Cups is about leaving something that was once good, but it's no longer fulfilling, and moving on to something more meaningful. So there's a lot of movement in these two cards. But the movement is positive because although you might be severing ties or cutting away what's no longer serving you or what's no longer working, you're going to be ending one cycle so that you can move toward a better cycle. So it's not, endings can sometimes be sad or difficult, but I feel that you're going to be moving towards something that you're going to be enjoying much more. So it's kind of like a mixed blessing this month. You have the Magician here as the base of the situation. This is a card of communication and manifestation. So you can create anything you want. You have all the skills and the talent. You just have to speak up about it. You have to visualize it and see it happening. With these cards, you might be thinking that a relationship has run its course and you're ready to move on. But the Six of Swords can also mean that you're moving away from struggle and argument, that you could maybe find some kind of peace through communication, that you can work out some kind of a win-win situation. So it may not always be that you're leaving someone. It could mean that you're leaving behind troubles in a relationship, or problems, or disagreements. The Temperance, and since this is a general reading, some of you might be leaving a relationship, others might be working on a relationship and leaving behind the difficulties, or navigating through the difficulties. Especially with this Magician card here that talks about communication and visualization and manifestation. This is a very strong card with creating what you want to happen, manifesting the type of relationship you want to have. You have the skills, you just have to focus and visualize, and use that energy to create a positive outcome. The Temperance card, here's another one. This is a card of balance and meeting someone halfway and seeing things from both sides. So, and Pisces is a very understanding and compassionate sign. So you would find that easier to do than some of the other signs that are more stubborn or stuck in the mud, especially the fixed signs. The fixed signs are like, no, it's got to be this way. It's got to be my way. With the Temperance card, this is about finding the middle ground, finding that not going to extremes of emotion or extremes of behavior. Not especially with the Strength card here. The Strength card is about emotional self-control, not going to extremes, not either being highly optimistic or highly pessimistic, or learning to control your emotions, not overreacting to things, learning to have more of an even, response, not being in the reactive mode, not letting your anger get the best of you. Or if you're dealing with someone who has anger problems, learning how to, because the Strength card is about learning how to get your needs met without having a major come apart, without flipping out and having a big scene. And the Strength card is about, learning how to compromise. Now, the Three of Swords is coming up here. So there are some things that you may want to cut away. And especially with the Death card here, you may have to admit that a cycle in your life is ending, that it's no longer making sense, and it's time for you to move on. And you may feel sad with some of the things that you're leaving behind. So I think on the one hand, you're excited about the new beginning or moving on to the new thing, but you're still feeling a sense of loss about what you're leaving behind. The Knight of Pentacles in the future, you could be connecting with an earth sign or someone who's very practical. The Knight of Pentacles is about, doing the work, being committed, and taking things one step at a time, not rushing into anything. Learning that, because some people expect rewards right away. This is about someone who's willing to do the work, willing to commit to just take things slow. So it could be that a relationship, if you're starting a new relationship, if you're leaving something and you're moving into a new situation, this is a card that's saying the new person may not want to rush into anything. They may want to take things slow. So you have to be patient and go at a slower pace. Sometimes this comes up when you may want to change jobs. Maybe you're moving into a new field of study, or you're tired of the work that you're doing, and you're wanting to do something more meaningful that you feel more connected to. So I feel like there's like a cycle in your life that's ending, and you're clearing out. This is a clearing out time. You have the Seven of Swords here. This is a card of, it's kind of a sneaky energy where you're like, either you're hiding your intentions or you're not, like you have plans that you're keeping under wraps and you can't announce them yet. Or you may feel that someone is trying to take something from you, or someone is they're not being transparent. So it could either be you or the other person that's not being honest or not being transparent. Someone has plans. Like for some of you, you might want to leave someone, but you don't want to talk about it. It's like you're kind of planning behind the scenes. Maybe you're afraid because they might get angry. You don't want to deal with their anger, or you're not sure how they're going to react. So you're kind of being more covert over some of the things that you're planning. For others, it could mean that you just feel like someone's always taking credit for the work that you do, or, you know, they're not being honest with you. They're saying one thing to your face, another thing behind your back. So it can have different meanings. It can also mean that you're not willing to face the truth of a situation, that you've been sweeping problems under the rug, but this month you're getting to the point where you can't deny what's wrong. You have to deal with it. You can't keep sweeping things under the rug. You have to face the truth and deal with it, whatever the issue may be. If you're dealing with a relationship issue, the person you're involved in might be confused about what they want, because the Seven of Cups is about being stuck in the choices, not wanting to make a decision, just dreaming about the potential, dreaming about the options, but not moving toward anything. So you could be, some of you might be dating someone who's maybe got several options and not sure what they want. You've got the Three of Cups here. Three of Cups, sometimes it can mean a third-party situation, like someone's choosing between two people. Or it could also mean a celebration or a party that you're going to, that might put you in contact with people. You might be connecting with, because sometimes the Three of Cups in the positive, the Three of Cups means support. You're feeling supported by the people around you. In the negative, it can mean that there's a third party. Now you have the Death card here as an outcome. Now, the death does not mean physical death, but what it does mean is that a cycle is ending, and you have to accept, like, it's a kind of a metaphorical death. It's kind of like winter. You know, you've finished this cycle. It's time for certain things to die out. It's like dying to a way of life, and you have to clear out the old before you can start the new beginning, before you can bring in the spring. So if you're still holding on to the past, if there's a relationship that ended but you haven't let go yet, or if there's a situation that you haven't accepted is over, it's going to be difficult to bring in the new, because you have to let go of the old. You have to clear out the old. You have to deal with your heartache. Maybe you're not dealing with your emotions. Maybe if a relationship has ended for some of you, you're not facing the truth about it. You're not letting yourself feel the loss. You know, you have to feel it, go through that process, and it's kind of like a death. And then once you go through that process and you clear it out, then you're ready for something new. You're ready for the next thing. But I think right now you're really not sure what you want. For some of you, you might be just stuck in the dreaming state, where you're just thinking, like, okay, well, this cycle is over. What's next? And you're just imagining the different possibilities, but you're not moving toward them. The Knight of Pentacles is saying, though, take your time. Don't rush into anything. If something has ended, if a cycle has ended, just take your time. In time, the right path will appear, and you'll know when you're ready to move on to that new path. In the meantime, just process everything that you've been through and release it. It's a time of releasing. And when you have these two sevens represent transition. So you're kind of in this transition period right now between the old life and the new life. So don't rush anything. You have to process your feelings. You have to go through this passage. But eventually, when something ends, something else has to begin. You're not, we don't exist in a vacuum. So there you are, and you are going to be moving towards something better with the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is about movement and leaving behind whatever was making you unhappy. So you are moving away from sorrow, and you are moving toward a new life, but you just have to give it time to manifest. So let this month be the transition period. And then as we progress into the coming months, you'll see these new beginnings start to manifest. So let's see what the astrology has to say. So here you have a full moon in the 3rd house, and the sun's in the 9th house. Those are the travel houses and the communication houses. So something is completing. It could be a legal situation with the 9th house involved. It could be some type of relationship with relatives, siblings, because the 3rd house represents aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, your immediate family. It could be a contract, some kind of contract is coming to completion. And there could be some surprises with the moon conjunct Uranus. You could have a surprise message or some last minute turn of events that surprises you. Someone may contact you. Maybe you're going to hear from a long lost relative that you haven't heard from in a while. And it could be that they're from a distance, they're coming to see you, or there could be some news from a distance that comes to you. Mercury's in the 8th house, so that involves, money that you receive from others. That's financial resources that you get from either a bank or an insurance payout or a loan or inheritance. So you've been in a kind of a battle of ideology because Mercury is squared Saturn in the 11th house. Saturn, you've been working really hard to achieve a goal when Saturn's in the 11th house. And with Mercury in the 8th, negotiations have been difficult. You may have had to really negotiate, and you may be up against conservative group of people that are demanding a lot from you before they'll give you whatever you're looking for in terms of financial support. So you've had to do a lot of battles and negotiation, very difficult negotiations, difficult communications. But this might be coming to completion right now at this full moon. And certain things that have been hidden from you may come to light. And you may find out if someone was talking behind your back, you might find that out. Now, Venus is also moving into the 8th, so that's positive when it comes to money. Venus in the 8th usually brings inheritance, brings money, brings financial support. And Venus is opposing Chiron in Aries in your 2nd house. So you may have to deal with some wounds around money and self-worth. Maybe you're not, you're accepting less than what you deserve, and you need to fight for what you deserve. Maybe on some level you may feel like, well, I'm not worth this, or I'm not worthy of this money. So you want to, don't go down that route. You want to make sure you're getting what you deserve. Make sure you're valuing yourself. And even if the negotiations have been difficult, fight for what you think you deserve. Don't let anyone take advantage of you, or don't let anyone take something from you that belongs to you. So Mercury goes direct on the 3rd of November. And like I said, that's in your 8th house. So that could bring movement in terms of some type of contract that revolves around money or financial support. Things might start to move now. If there was some kind of glitches or slowdowns or miscommunication, that's going to start to work itself out. Then you have Jupiter conjunct Pluto on the 12th, and that's happening in your 11th house. And the 11th house is the house of hopes, wishes, dreams, friendships, the groups that you belong to. So you may be connecting with some powerful people that can help you if you're going through a difficult time. It could also mean it brings wealth. Jupiter, when it comes together with Pluto, brings wealth. It's a wealth-building aspect. And the 11th house is the money you make from the work that you do. So you could be, if you're changing jobs at this time for some of you, you could be moving into a position that's bringing you a higher salary, or you're achieving a goal that you've wanted to achieve. It can mean a completion or a culmination. Then Mars goes direct on the 13th, and that's in your 2nd house also. Mars in your 2nd house, it could sometimes bring some expenses in, but with Venus in the 8th, I feel like you're going to have the money to cover them. But Mars is your focus is going to be on money and security. You're going to be thinking about, okay, what do I need to do to bring more money into my life or more security? I want to feel secure. So wherever Mars is, that's where your energy is. And Mars has been retrograde, so you might not have been as motivated to work along these lines, or things have been slowed down, or you may have just felt like, I just don't have the energy to fight. I don't have the fight. But now that Mars goes direct, you're going to have a renewed sense of energy, and so you're going to be fighting for what you deserve and for what you value. Then we have the new moon in Scorpio, and that's on the 14th or 15th, depending on where you live. That's in the 9th house. So there could be a new beginning. The 9th house has to do with higher education, teaching, learning. So if you're starting a new job, you could be starting a new job where you're teaching, you're sharing your wisdom. Or you could be going back to school and picking up learning some classes, some new classes. It could also have to do with a legal matter that you have a new angle or a new beginning that has to do with some kind of justice or law. It also has to do with travel. You might be thinking about going on a trip, taking a vacation, or reaching out to people on a global level. So if you're starting a new project, it might be involving communication and publishing, and reaching people through the internet or through social media. Jupiter in the 11th conjunct Pluto is sextile this new moon, so you're getting powerful energy toward this new beginning. So if you're wanting to publish anything, if you're wanting to share your knowledge in any way, now is a great time to start with this new moon. Mercury is also in the 9th, so it could be a writing project. Maybe you're writing a book. There could be some unexpected developments with Uranus in the 3rd house opposing Mercury. And now these are your travel houses, so you want to be careful when you're traveling that you're not rushing around. Just pay attention when you're on the road. Don't be distracted, because sometimes Mercury and Uranus in the travel sector, you want to be careful that you're not that your mind isn't somewhere else, and then you wind up missing your exit, or getting lost, or having some kind of you don't want to have like a fender bender or anything like that. So pay attention while you're driving. Don't be on the phone texting. Don't be talking on the phone. Sometimes it maybe could mean like a sudden communication, and then the need to travel. Maybe you have to travel to finalize a contract. You could be dealing with technology more. Maybe the project, whatever you're working on, has to do with technology, communication, new methods, innovative ways of communicating with people. But Venus in the 8th is now squaring Pluto at this new moon, and Pluto's in the 11th. So there could be some power struggles around financial matters, especially money that you're getting from someone else. So if you're talking to a bank, or you're getting a loan, or some kind of grant money, or some kind of inheritance or insurance payout, there could be some manipulation around the money. Someone who is very powerful, who holds the purse strings, may try to manipulate you. So don't get involved in any power struggles, or don't get involved in any drama if someone tries to push your buttons. On the other hand, Venus square Pluto in a relationship situation can bring very intense emotions and very intense feelings, where you may feel like it could bring jealousy and fear of betrayal and all kinds of stuff like that. So don't fall under the trap of that, because it can be very compelling. Venus Venus is very strong in Libra, so your best bet is to be diplomatic and to try to negotiate a fair outcome for both parties. Use the power of Pluto in a benevolent way. Don't try to be a bully about something that you believe in. Try to do something that helps everyone. That's not just for your own selfish needs. Although Pisces isn't really selfish. Pisces is usually cares about others more than themselves even at times. So, but these are just warnings that sometimes when Venus and Pluto come together, you may be dealing with someone who can be manipulative, or can be controlling, or underhanded, just wielding power. So you might be dealing with someone who holds the purse strings. They might be on a power trip or something. So you just might have to be more the diplomat this month. But you definitely have really good aspects for a new beginning in any kind of communication project. So if you're thinking about writing a book or sharing your knowledge, now's the time to do it. And if there's any kind of legal matter, you have support for it to have a fair outcome. So don't worry if you've been stressed out over something, certain endings or certain ties that you're cutting away. You are going to be moving toward greater harmony. So just hang in there and go through this transition, knowing that when you come out on the other side, you're going to be in a better place. So that's my forecast for November, Pisces. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. If you'd like a private reading, click on the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website and we can get you on the schedule. In the meantime, I want to say thank you, everyone for supporting this channel, for commenting, for ordering readings, for just being here and listening. I really appreciate your support. And so have a wonderful November, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.